The 6 levels of wealth in retirement. Why most fail at level 2. I want to tell you a story about a man named Robert. I met Robert about 3 months ago. He walked into my office, sat down, and placed a folder on my desk. He looked tired. Not physically tired. Robert is 62 and in good health, but spiritually tired. He had the look of a man who had played by the rules for 40 years, only to realize the referee had changed the game in the final quarter. Robert is what society calls a success story. He worked as a mid-level engineer for a logistics company for 38 years. He never missed a mortgage payment. He drove used cars so his wife could drive new ones. He put 2 kids through state college. He has $600,000 in a savings account and a paid-off house in the suburbs. By every metric of the 20th century, Robert won. But he looked me in the eye and said, "I'm terrified. I did the math last night. If I live to be 85, I don't think I'm going to make it. I feel like I'm standing on a block of ice that is slowly melting in the sun." Robert was right. He is suffering from a silent epidemic that is currently destroying the retirements of millions across the West. It is not a disease of the body. It is a disease of the portfolio. He is stuck in what I call the level 2 trap. You see, we are taught that wealth is a single number. We think, if I hit $1 million, I am safe. If I pay off the house, I am free. This is a lie. Wealth is not a number. Wealth is a structure. It is a ladder. And most men spend their entire lives fighting to get to the second rung, only to realize too late that the water is rising past their ankles. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 levels of wealth in retirement. Most of you listening to this right now are stuck at level 2 or level 3. You have assets, but you still have anxiety. You have money, but you do not have freedom. We are going to have a very honest conversation today. Some of this will be uncomfortable. It requires you to unlearn what your father taught you, because the economy your father lived in no longer exists. But if you can climb to level 4, you will never worry about the price of groceries again. Let's begin. Level 1, the dependent, the danger zone. Level 1 is where nearly 40% of retirees find themselves today. This is the dependent. At level 1, you are not the captain of your own ship. You are a passenger. Your income is entirely dictated by external forces, usually the government, or perhaps the charity of your children. If your primary plan for retirement is Social Security, you do not have a retirement plan. You have a hope. You are waking up every morning hoping that politicians, people who do not know you and do not care about you, will keep their promises. The problem with level 1 is simple arithmetic. It is the disconnect between CPI inflation and senior inflation. The government will tell you inflation is 3%. They calculate this based on a basket of goods that includes things like flat-screen TVs and used cars. But as a retiree, you aren't buying flat-screen TVs every month. You are buying healthcare, insurance, and quality food. The cost of healthcare in the United States has risen roughly 5% to 7% annually for the last decade. Property taxes are skyrocketing. Insurance premiums are doubling. If your fixed income rises by 3%, while your actual cost of living rises by 7%, you are mathematically becoming poorer every single day. Level 1 is a place of quiet desperation. It is the man at the grocery store who puts the good steak back and buys the ground beef because he is worried about his electric bill. It is the grandmother who skips her medication to buy a birthday present for her grandson. If you are currently at level 1, I am not here to judge you. Life happens. But you must understand that this is a state of emergency. You cannot relax here. The only way out of level 1 is not to save more, because you cannot save what you do not have. The escape hatch is income generation. You must find a way, whether through consulting, a part-time skill, or monetizing a hobby, to generate just $500 to $1,000 of extra monthly income. That $1,000 is not just money. It is the difference between dignity and dependency. But for those of you who have saved, do not get too comfortable. because the next level is where the real trap lies. Level 2, the saver, the illusion of safety. This brings us to level 2. This is where my friend Robert was stuck. This is the saver. The saver is the backbone of society. He is prudent. He is disciplined. He hates debt. He sleeps well at night because when he logs into his bank account, he sees a stable, unchanging number. Maybe it's $100,000. Maybe it's $500,000. He thinks, I have cash. I am safe. But level 2 is a mirage. It is the most dangerous level because it feels safe while it slowly destroys you. Here's the brutal truth about the modern economy. Cash is trash. I don't say that to be provocative. I say it because it is a mathematical certainty. We live in a fiat currency system. This means the supply of money is constantly expanding. Whenever the government prints money to fund a war, a stimulus package, or a bailout, they are diluting the value of every dollar you worked for. Let's look at the numbers. If you have $100,000 in a high-yield savings account paying you 4%, you feel like you are winning. You made $4,000 this year without working. But what was the real rate of inflation? If gas is up 10%, meat is up 15%, and your property tax is up 8%, the real inflation rate for your life is likely closer to 7% or 8%. So let's do the real math. You gained 4% in interest. You lost 8% in purchasing power. The net result? You lost 4% of your life's work. You are 4% poorer than you were last year, even though the number in the bank grew. This is what I call the boiling frog effect. If a market crashes 20% in one day, you notice it. You panic. You react. But when inflation steals 4% of your wealth silently, year after year, you don't notice it until 10 years later when you realize you can't afford to fix your roof. The saver plays defense, but he is fighting the last war. He is fighting the war of the 1980s, where interest rates were 15%. In the 2020s, saving your way to wealth is impossible. You cannot store your labor in a currency that is being debased. To escape level 2, you must accept a hard truth. Safety is not in the bank. Safety is in ownership. You have to move from being a hoarder of currency to a holder of assets. Level 3, the market participant. The anxiety trap. Level 3 is where the American middle class lives. This is the market participant. You have a 401k. You have an IRA. You have been told your entire life by HR departments and financial gurus. Just put your money in a diversified portfolio of mutual funds and wait. Level 3 is significantly better than Level 2 because at least you own assets. You own a piece of the economy. Over long periods, you will beat inflation. But Level 3 has a fatal flaw that reveals itself the moment you retire. Volatility anxiety. When you're 35 years old and the stock market crashes 20%, it is an annoyance. Maybe it's even an opportunity to buy more. But when you are 65 years old, retired, and living off that portfolio, a 20% crash is a heart attack. This is called sequence of returns risk. Imagine you retire with $1 million. You plan to withdraw $40,000 a year to live. But the year you retire, the market drops 20%. Your $1 million is now $800,000. But you still need to eat. You still need to pay taxes. So you are forced to sell stocks while they are down just to generate cash. You are cannibalizing your own nest egg. You are selling the engine of your car to pay for the gas. If this happens early in your retirement, you will run out of money. This creates a psychological prison. The Level 3 investor is obsessed with the Federal Reserve. He watches CNBC all day. He worries about elections. He worries about wars in countries he can't find on a map. He is wealthy on paper, but he is stressed in reality. He has money, but he does not have peace. He is still dependent on the casino opening every morning and giving him a green number. Most men stop here. They think this is as good as it gets. They spend their retirement glued to the television, praying for a bull market. But there is another level. A level where the price of the S&P 500 stops mattering entirely. Level 4. The Cash Flow Architect. True Freedom. Now we cross the threshold. This is where the wealthy separate themselves from the middle class. Level 4 is the Cash Flow Architect. At Level 4, we undergo a fundamental shift in philosophy. We stop caring about net worth, and we start caring about cash flow. The Level 3 investor asks, "What is the price of my stock?" The Level 4 investor asks, "How much did my asset pay me today?" The architect does not sell his assets to eat. He owns assets that pay him to eat. Think of the farmer. The Level 3 investor is constantly checking the price of his farmland. Is my land worth more today? Is it worth less? The Level 4 farmer doesn't care what the land is worth. He cares about the harvest. How many crops did it produce? He lives off the crops, and he never sells the land. This is the landlord who owns 3 paid-off rental properties. The value of the houses might go up or down, but the rent checks come in every first of the month. This is the investor who focuses on dividend aristocrats. Boring, stable companies like Johnson & Johnson or Coca-Cola that have raised their payouts for 25 or 50 years straight. This is the owner of a private lending note or a small business that runs under management. The magic of Level 4 is that you never touch the principal. If you have $500,000 invested in a portfolio of strong dividend payers yielding 5%, you are generating $25,000 a year in pure cash flow. If the stock market crashes 30% tomorrow, the Level 3 investor is panicking. The Level 4 investor is calm. Why? Because he still owns the same number of shares. The companies are still selling toothpaste and soda. The dividend check still arrives. In fact, the Level 4 investor is happy when the market crashes, because he can use his cash flow to buy more assets at a discount. This is true financial peace. When your passive income exceeds your monthly expenses, you have officially won the game. You are no longer retired, you are financially independent. You have removed the time bomb from your retirement. Level 5 and 6. The Master and the Dynasty. The Legacy. Most people would be happy to stop at Level 4, but the ultra-wealthy go further. Level 5 is the Tax Master. You can make all the money in the world at Level 4, but if you are inefficient, you are handing 30% or 40% of it to the IRS. You are working harder than you need to. The wealthy understand that taxes are their single biggest expense in retirement. Level 5 investors use legal structures to protect their harvest. They use Roth conversions to ensure future withdrawals are tax-free. They use health savings accounts to pay for medical bills with pre-tax dollars. They use 1,031 exchanges in real estate to swap properties without triggering capital gains. At Level 5, you realize that it's not about what you make. It's about what you keep. And finally, we reach the summit. Level 6, the Dynasty. This is not about buying a Ferrari. This is about what happens when you are gone. There is a tragic saying, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. The grandfather builds the wealth. The father spends the wealth. The grandson is back to zero. Level 6 investors build trusts, not just wills. A will is just a letter to a judge. It guarantees your family goes to court. Probate, where lawyers and the state take a cut. A trust is a private contract. It creates a rule book for your money. At Level 6, you are not investing for your retirement. You are investing for your grandchildren's freedom. You are setting up incentives so that your money educates them, houses them, and protects them, but does not spoil them. This is the ultimate form of wealth. Immortality through impact. Conclusion: the choice is yours. So I ask you today, which level are you at? Are you the dependent, hoping the system saves you? Are you the saver, watching your hard work melt away to inflation? Are you the participant, stressed out by every headline on the news? Or are you ready to become the architect? You do not need $10 million to move up these levels. You do not need to be a Wall Street genius. You just need to change your philosophy. Stop chasing hot stocks. Start building income. Stop hoarding cash. Start owning assets. Stop worrying about the price. Start worrying about the value. If you found value in this breakdown, I have a request. Subscribe to this channel. Not for me, but for yourself. We are building a community of men who refuse to retire poor. We are building a community of architects. Don't let the system win. Protect what you have built. I'll see you in the next video.